Warning, this video contains spoilers for all of Sifu. I was not excited for Sifu. I didn't think I was going to play it when it was first announced, certainly not at full price. I wasn't interested in the combat, I wasn't interested in the story, I lost even more interest when I heard that it was only 5 levels. But I couldn't be more happy that I was wrong, because I thoroughly recommend this game. I know this might be weird, but I really like it when a game just kicks my teeth in and I know it's my fault when I lose. I like throwing myself at a challenge again and again and again until I'm perfect. And I love when I'm in the middle of a run for a tough trophy and in a split second it's do or dodge or die. This is the essence of Sifu's journey. One slip up and you'll very likely be comboed until you're taken down. You will die on this journey. A lot. And the punishment for dying a lot is dying a lot more. You see, as you die, you'll begin to age a number of years equal to the number of times that you've died already. While there are some ways to move the counter down or even reset it, it's not uncommon to die repeatedly in the same fight and age way more than you would have wanted to. Because not only do you age faster the more that you die, but as you get older, you'll also lose access to some of the special skills that required a younger body, and you'll have a smaller total health pool. While you do get a buff to your damage output, the bottom line is failure in this game can sometimes spiral into more and more successive failures until you lose a run completely. Sifu is a game that demands perfection from you. My journey through Sifu can be separated into 3 distinct stages. I started the game approaching it like Sekiro. I would attempt to guard or parry most attacks, but I wouldn't really know the timing of each enemy type, and occasionally one would catch me off guard. This would typically spiral until I died. Phase 2 was when I learned that dodging is insanely strong in this game. Once you get the hang of dodging, very few attacks can hit you, even if you do look silly when you spam it, wiggling around like this.
I'm a Kung Fu master!
Real mastery of Sifu comes with a sense of calm. I stopped wiggling and started only dodging when it was necessary. I recognized combos instinctively and combined parrying with my dodges to knock opponents off balance before I counterattacked. This evolution is what Sifu is. This stillness is the end goal. You're meant to die and reset and grow. Each of the game's 5 levels will save the lowest age you were when you reached it, so you can always go back and use what you've learned on previous levels to start the current level you're on at a younger age. Or if you're stubborn like me, you can refuse to move on until you perfect each level by beating it without dying, and then spend half of your total game time dying to these 2 assholes in level 2 because you refuse to move on until you get past them without dying, and they're not even the boss of this level. It's a simple tale of revenge, and Sifu doesn't waste too much time focusing on the story. But there are deeper lore things here if you're interested in it. Each of the 5 martial artists who killed your father and his students represent a specific element, and each of their levels incorporate more and more of this element as you move through it. I really appreciated this design choice. The collectibles each give more background on these 5 characters and the world that you're operating in. They're laid out really well on a detective board, so you can easily determine which ones you're missing. But beyond that, some of the collectibles will tie to shortcuts, allowing you to skip sections to get to the boss quicker and improve your age when you complete the level. Each level also has at least one collectible that you can only access if you have a collectible from a different level to open a specific door or a chest or an area. To me, this makes the world feel lived in, and it's nice to see collectibles that aren't just complete garbage. The upgrade system is the one place where I believe Sifu falls short. 9 permanent upgrades are available at shrines, but it's not super clear to new players which one of these are the most valuable. I invested a lot into generating focus from dodges and increasing my focus meter because focus attacks seem to be a really strong way to start a combo. Later on, I came to find out that the final boss doesn't let you use focus attacks on him.
Don't bother trying that on me.
Additionally, new skills can be bought with XP. You can unlock them for the rest of a given run and all future levels. But if you die enough to game over, or you reset the level, you'll lose access to that skill. Unless, of course, you unlock it 5 separate times. Sorry, did I say unlock it 5 separate times? I meant unlock it and then buy it 5 additional times. So it's sort of 6 times, but not really because the 5 additional times stack. So if you reset the level and lose the skill, you have to re-unlock it before you start purchasing towards the 5 required for the permanent unlock. Like, I get what they're going for here. They want you to really invest to keep a skill permanently. But it's convoluted, it feels weird, it's like Club Applebee's all over again. Oh man, this trophy list. What a beautiful thing. Of course we've got a trophy for killing and sparing each boss. It wasn't immediately clear to me how to spare bosses, but all you need to do is break their guard twice in their second phase, and you'll get the option to spare them by pressing left on the D-pad. The big platinum blocker, though, is going to be Prodigal Child, for beating the game while being 25 years old or less. You start Sifu at age 20, so best case scenario, that's 5 years or 5 deaths that are allowed in your whole game. But it's probably less than 5 deaths due to how the age system works. And trying to play this out feels kind of like being asked where you see yourself in 5 years.
Well, my next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, so first off, thank you for such a great question. I think like the last 8 years, I've focused a lot on me and my needs. And so the next 5 years, I want to focus on the 5 guys who killed my father. But it'd be really beneficial if I killed the first 4 of them within this first year. Like, you know, if I spend more than a year on that, it's like, what am I even doing? And then I'm going to spend 5 years killing their leader. Now, like I said, I was insanely stubborn about moving on and refused to progress until I beat a level without dying. From my experience, the 2 biggest skill jumps in the game were the second level with these 2 motherfuckers and the final boss, who's immune to focus attacks. But just like everything else in this game, there really isn't a gimmick to get past these sections. Play the level repeatedly, learn from your mistakes, anticipate the enemy combos, and you'll eventually surprise yourself in just how much better you've become. The 36th Chamber of Kung Fu gets the next shoutout and is notable for being what I would describe as the worst trophy of the lot. This one states, barehanded or with a weapon, standing up against a wall, a ledge, or on the ground, perform each takedown type at least once. Which, despite an Oxford comma that I always appreciate, seems like a very confusing way to word do every takedown type. Hell, if you take out the whole first part of this trophy description, I think the trophy reads better and is honestly more accurate. There's a lot of takedowns in this game. I mean, seriously, it's so freaking cool. This trophy wants you to do a barehanded takedown against an enemy while the enemy is standing up against a wall, against a ledge, or on the ground. Then you're going to want to do all 4 of these takedown positions while holding a bat, a blade, and a staff, which is more than the with a weapon part of the description. And the trophy doesn't even mention that you also have to do each of the weapon takedowns against a juggernaut enemy type, or the running takedown where you trigger one while sprinting. The trophy itself is fine, but it doesn't track what you have and what you haven't done yet, so it can be a little finicky to complete if you don't get it naturally. Master of the Phoenix Eye Fist is similar, but it's all about focus attacks. All but one of the focus attacks can be unlocked on the skills menu at any time, but the last is tied to a collectible in the museum level. You'll have to get this collectible first before you can unlock it as a skill. You're also going to need to have 3 bars of focus in order to do one of the focus attacks, so make sure you've been upgrading your focus meter at the shrines. Most of the miscellaneous trophies you'll get on accident or very quickly once you try for them. The only one I had some real trouble with was Kung Fu Tussle for hitting 3 enemies in a single strike. The popular consensus seems to be using the 360 swing focus attack, and that's what I wound up using, but it still took a few tries to get 3 enemies in one hit. Of all the games that have come out so far this year, I'm so happy that I started with Sifu. It's a game that embodies everything I love in video games, and has a great, fun trophy list to go with it. If you're also a sick weirdo like me, who likes bashing your head against the wall until it finally gives way to your perseverance, then I simply can't recommend this game enough. Okay, so this is a weirdly specific complaint, but I really want to see if this bothers anybody else. So like here we're at chapter select, and we have this image, and the image changes as we go through the level selection process. So like here's level 1, here's level 2, here's level 3, and then watch what happens when we get to level 4. It's cropped differently. We've zoomed out a little bit, and when we go to level 5, it goes back to the other images. Why did they do this? Why is level 4 cropped differently? That's so weird, right?